going through okay? I am in a Starbucks conference room live from Gettysburg, so the lighting is a little off. Apologize, but at least it's quiet. So this is my first time doing a live remote. I'm not at home. Again, I'm in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Hi, I was hoping I could actually take my phone around and show you guys parts of the town before the class is over if you're open to it. Hi, Michelle. It is really cool here. I'm in a building, I'm next to a building that's from the 1700s. I have had a great time here for the last few days. Met some wonderful people. I got to see lots of Civil War sites. It's been amazing. So I did bring everything for today's earring project, and then I just discovered getting everything laid out. I left the jump rings at home. So I have 4. So I was like, okay, we can still do today's earrings, but we're gonna do a more complicated wire wrap with it. Hi, Dee. I hope that's okay with you guys. So I'm gonna show you both ways of making the earrings, one with jump rings and one with a more complicated wire wrap around chain. It's not hard, it's just a little bit more work. And we're gonna make some fun dangle earrings. And hi, you guys. I'm so glad everybody is here. Hello, happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a great week. I hope you had a good holiday yesterday. We're gonna be doing some fun, simple drop earrings. And then just a reminder, sorry, before the end of today's class, you wanna close out your shopping cart. So if you choose to buy anything, you close out before I end the class. And today, again, thanks for joining me on artbeads.com. I can read your comments. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions and respond to you. And if you're on Facebook or YouTube, thanks for joining me here today. I can catch your questions later. And also, Artbeads has an amazing Facebook group. If you want to join, post any questions or share with us any projects you've made off of the tutorials. We, the Artbeads team, love to see what our friends have created. And Michelle says we just started our 15% off all silver and gold sale, which is great because, for example, today we'll be using gold ear wires. Woohoo! Anyways, sorry about that cough. So again, I am in a Starbucks conference room and there's some people behind me, but thankfully the door shut so it's not as loud. So I'm going to be showing you how to wire wrap drops that look like this. Cute little tiny glass drops. These are 6mm to make some earrings. So we're going to be doing the earrings today, so I didn't do a whole pair, but I have started attaching it to the chain. Let me do this like this. So what you do is you wire wrap the glass bead onto the chain, and you'll do some multiple drops onto the chain. And then if you choose, we're going to do a couple different layers of chain here. Let me kind of hold this up really quick. And you'll do a pair of earrings with multiple glass drops hanging from the chain and ear wire. So you have some fun dangle earrings with glass drops. So that's the idea of what we'll be making today. So I did start a few drops this morning. Again, here's a close-up. So we're gonna be wire wrapping the drops onto the chain and then adding ear wire. So if you don't want to wire wrap onto the chain directly, I will just show you how we wire up the drop, and then you can attach the drop to the chain with jump rings. But since I don't have jump rings, because I left them at home, I'm sorry, I can't make the chain with the jump rings attached. So we're just going to wire wrap the drop onto the chain and have fun with that. Yay, so thanks again. Hi everybody, I'm so glad you're here. I'm gonna flip my camera over and we're going to get crafting. Once I try to do that. Oh, here we go. Cool, so again, hi. I'm in a Starbucks conference room. This morning, and I'm hoping my connection stays clear. So if the connection's poor, I apologize. Yes, crafting on location again. I am live in Gettysburg. It's really cool. And And yes, Michelle, if you can add in some jump rings, can you please add 3mm to 4mm jump rings? And like I said, before the class was over, I wanted to walk you guys outside and show you around town if Art Beads is okay with that real quick, because it's such a beautiful historic town. Almost all the buildings around me are from the 1700s. They're really cool. Okay, so here's a close-up. I have one drop here attached to the chain, like so. So it'll like hang off of the chain, and then you do multiple pieces of chain and multiple drops on the chain to create one dangle earring. So the first thing I'm going to do, one is I can show you how I do the glass drop by itself, is I just wire wrap over the top and then you connect it with a jump ring to the chain, or I'm going to show you how you wire wrap it directly onto the chain like so. So the first thing you want to do is you want to cut 3 pieces of chain, and you want to have them different lengths for each earring. So I have a longer piece, I'm going to have like a medium sized piece, and I'm going to have a short piece. Now this is just how I'm doing it. If you choose to have all long pieces, that's totally up to you. But see here down the table, we're doing like different lengths. So you have like a medium, a short, and a long. That way the earring is staggered with different lengths on the chain. But if you want to do all the same length, you know, you can do whatever you want to do. Hello, Julie. Good morning. So I'm going to pull this one apart. So I have one started here. This is going to be like my medium size. Here we go. And we have this one too. So one trick when you're wire wrapping directly onto chain is you want your charm to go the correct direction. So when you're wire wrapping onto the chain directly, it's going to flow down and hang down with the chain. If I'm kind of hanging this up backwards, it still does, but the chain isn't going to lay as flat. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure that the chain is kind of going the right direction with your wire wrap, so it hangs a little bit more comfortably on the earring. All right, so today I will be using 26 gauge gold artistic wire brand wire, and I love this wire, is fantastic. So because of the size of the glass and the hole size, you want to use 26 gauge. And I'm going to cut off about 4 inches of wire. You don't have to cut off that much. And hi, Ann, how are you? And I'm going to take a drop. And again, these are 6mm. And I'm going to take my wire and go through the top of the drop about halfway through my wire. And I'm going to crisscross over the top. Now, I am not doing the briolate, however you said that word, wire wrap. I'm doing my own crisscross wrap because I like it. It's easy to work with. Yes, it's 26 gauge. Let me show you again. 26 gauge artistic wire brand wire in gold. I love this wire. It works amazing. Okay, so I have my crisscross at the top of the glass. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to form a loop over the top of my glass. And I'm actually going to do this side like so. And I'm going to bring the loop over the top of the glass like this. Hello, Carol from South Jersey. I'm not too far from you. Yay. So I have a loop over the top of my glass and I have my tail around the back. I'm going to keep this kind of like off in the back here. And we're just going to focus on our loop here. The next step is I'm going to grab one of the pieces of chain I'm working with. I'm going to actually trim this down a little bit. I'm going to grab one of my pieces of chain and I'm going to slide it wherever you want it to go with the wire. So you just pick a loop, slide your chain and the wire like this. So you want to put your wire through a section of the chain loop and bring your chain down like so. So the chain will go through the loop and you're connecting the loop directly onto the chain like so. And the next step is I'm going to kind of hold this in place over around my drop like so. And I'm going to bring that wire that was in the back, I'm going to bring it around, and we're going to wire wrap around this loop. Well, you kind of also have to kind of keep the chain out of the way. So you're going to just bring it around while you're trying to keep that chain out of the way, like so. And just bring it around a few times. You don't have to do too many, you're just doing a few loops. And then I'm going to cut off the excess wire here. And I'm going to take my tools and kind of pinch it down. I'm using chain nose pliers because they have a bent end, so they're easier to use. Here we go. And just gently push that end of the wire in, like so. You don't have to press very hard. And then we still have this other side. So I'm going to bring my glass loop kind of over and trim the tail, being careful not to cut anything else, just the tail. And if it sticks out, you can just kind of gently press it down. And now you have a loop onto the chain. So this is if you don't want to use a jump ring. So you've just wire wrapped directly onto the chain itself. You can do this for bracelets too. It doesn't just have to be for earrings. So here, I'm going to hold this up. So you have it wire wrapped directly onto the chain itself. So you've got your loop, and I'm trying to hold this so you guys can see really good. So you have your loop onto the chain like so. And then when you hold your chain up, get my hands out of the way here, it'll just kind of drop off the chain. This wire is very easy to work with. It's dead soft. It works phenomenal. It's very easy to work with. So now we have one done. So for this amount, you could add probably 3 drops would look really good. And then this strand would be finished. So I'm going to add a few more. And again, you just want to grab your wire and then hang out with me for at least another 20 minutes while we wire wrap all these beautiful glass beads. You're not late. You are just fine, Laura. Welcome to the party. I'm so glad you're here. Again, we are going to be wire wrapping some glass drops onto chain. And I'm live from a Starbucks room in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, winging this. So again, that's kind of long. I don't need that much. So again, I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to form a loop over the top of the glass like so. So I have a wire in the front with my loop over the glass. I'm going to bring it around to the other side of the glass. So I have my loop over the glass. Then I have a tail kind of behind it. That's when I'm going to go around to close everything off. So for right now, we just have our loop over the front. And I'm going to grab another piece of chain. So again, I've pre-cut 3 pieces of chain in different lengths. So that way the earring will kind of stagger with different lengths when it's done. So I'm going to slide my wire through one of the links of the chain and bring it to the end like so. And then I'm going to close this loop off. So I'm going to hold it with my fingers here on one side of the glass. And then I'm going to bring the tail from the back over the front. And I'm just going to wire wrap around the middle a few times to close that loop off. Like so. And then cut off the excess wire. Chain nose pliers, I'm just going to like close it down. Pinch it down, Pinch it down. And you want to close gently because this is a soft wire. You don't have to press hard. Okay, that's done. And then you want to find your tail from the other end where you started your loop and just cut off this excess wire like so. Put that off to the side and then you're finished. So now we have another drop on this one. Okay. Hi, Pat. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. It's okay. We're going to recap the beginning a little bit. Right now, we're just repeating the steps on how to wire wrap the drop and attach it to chain. And so when you're all done attaching the different drops to the chains, that's a long one. Because I have a long and a medium length and then a short. So again, you're just going to bring them all together and then you'll have different lengths of chain with drops on it. So I'm going to keep going on this one till we have a finished pair, and then I'll show you how I finish it with an ear wire. So you kind of getting the idea coming together here a little bit. So again, it's just mostly taking the time to wire wrap each drop onto the chain And you could probably have a completed pair of earrings in, you know, an hour. The tedious part is just trying to get everything onto the chain. These shouldn't, yeah, I don't see this entangling at all. They hang freely. You bring them together at the top with a jump ring and the ear wire, but because they do this a lot, they're gonna, yeah, the glass will bounce off of each other. So they're just gonna kind of like swing like this. I don't see them getting tangled per se. That's a good question though. I didn't even think about that, but they bounce around a lot. And the glass doesn't break either. It's a really hardy glass. So you don't have to worry about them breaking off. Okay. So again, I'm just going to keep, again, I'm going to do the one on the front. I'm going to bring my wire around from the front and form my loop over the top of my glass and just kind of hold it off to the side. Again, and then I'm going to add my chain. So I'm going to grab one I've already made up here. And because I have a drop further down the chain, I'm going to go up higher on the chain this time. I want one towards the top, like so. And if you're not sure, you can hold up your chain together and kind of figure out where you want your glass placement to be. So they're staggered on the different pieces of chain. There we go. Slide this one on there. So I hope everybody is having a great day today. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a great week and a good short week too. Okay. I fly back home tomorrow. So next Tuesday, I'll be back home with a fresh project. Okay. And I'm going to go around again. Just going to go around a couple of times through the middle of my wire here. And I'm going to use my tools for this one. And this is a soft wire, so you don't have to work too hard with it. It will bend how you want it to go fairly easily. I'm going to trim some of it down. There are a lot of colors of glass drops. They have purple, green, teal. If you go to artbeads.com, they have a large amount of 6mm is what I'm using, glass in different colors. They're beautiful. They have pinks, turquoise. I couldn't decide. I picked a purple for today's link, but they have lots of colors to choose from. And do I measure the wire for each length? No, I'm just guessing it. So basically I'm just cutting like about 3 to 4 inches of wire and then just cutting off the excess. I'm just kind of rule of thumbing it, just throwing it out there. Okay. There's no rules with this one. You just cut some wire off and wire up your glass drops. Okay, so like this one, we have 2 drops on there. And, you know, if you want, you can also get more into detail and wire up on opposite sides of the chain. So you have glass drops coming down different sides. So I think this one's good. I'm going to finish this one. And then I'm going to go to another piece and then we'll get that earring finished. And also you don't have to use gold wire either. You can also use silver wire if you wanted to do purple drops with silver wire. They have sterling silver ear wires on artbeads.com as well. And hello, Nancy from rainy Alabama. Glad you guys are having some rain. That's awesome. Michelle did say there is a 15% off sale in the store right now off of silver and gold. So if you guys wanted to purchase some items, they are on sale 15% off. Okay, so for this one, because I'm kind of in the middle, I'm actually going to go towards the end. I want to have a piece of glass dangling off the end of this one. So I'm going to go down here. And again, you can move your chain around to make sure. That is a great idea, silver and frosty drops. So they do have a frosty color drop on the website. It's it's like a white transparent one on Art Beads. So if you did want to grab that one, they do have one available. And they also have the silver wire in 26 gauge and sterling silver ear wire. So you could totally do silver with frosty drops. Okay. So So I need to bring my chain here. Again, so when you're working, you just want to make sure your chain is off on the end on the loop. Okay. So if you guys want to hear a crazy story, so I did a ghost story tour last night, and you're on the Gulf Coast. That's awesome. I lived on the Gulf Coast for a year down in Mississippi, really close to Biloxi. So I did a ghost story tour last night. That was fun. And it was cool to see some haunted buildings. You know, they're old. I saw a couple that have bullets in it from the Civil War that are still there. That was neat. The history behind the buildings is absolutely fascinating. It's very cool. And the stories are also fun. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and trim this one. So you want to give yourself probably an hour, depending on how many drops you want to do. And again, once you cut down excess wire, you just want to make sure if you have any loose ends that they're as short as can be without ruining the wire wrapping, and also just pinch it down if anything sticks out a little bit. Getting into the spirit, lol. That's so funny, Anne. That's perfect. That is so funny. Getting into the spirit of things. I did have a weird encounter twice though yesterday. When I was at Devil's Den, I was asking the ghost if they would like do, you know, show themselves for me. I'm like, you guys, come on. I flew 3,000 miles. Like, I want to see a ghost. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding when I say my phone turned off. I was trying to do video and it turned off all by itself. It started doing some weird stuff on this video. I just laughed. I was like, well, I asked for it. Okay. So this one, where's my shorter chain? Okay. So I'm wrapping this one up here a little bit. So again, when you're making these two, you can